Hello, welcome back to part 35 of my Western Governors University journey. So today's video is just an update about where I am and what I plan to do next. I'm really sorry I haven't posted recently. Ultimately, I didn't really have a lot to tell you, so I didn't want to waste your time until I actually had something official to kind of tell you guys about. So thank you for all the messages and emails, and I don't check the messages quite as much as I should, simply because I'm just quite busy, but there's a lot of people that have asked what's my plans, so I kind of think I owe you guys that. So funnily enough, I guess I'm starting to think like a YouTuber now. I actually did debate whether I should wait until the big reveal until the end, but I also respect you guys' time, and end of the day, I'm not doing this for money, so this channel isn't monetized. So, I'm just going to tell you now what I decided to do, and then obviously just, if you're interested, you can stay on and listen to why, and the rest of the video if you like. But ultimately, I think that's probably the best thing to do. So the big reveal. Well, I've decided just to do a straight Western Governors University Masters of Business Administration degree. There was a lot of different options, not just for Western Governors University, but with other schools as well. And obviously, even with Western Governors University, there's a number of master's degree options, certainly in the IT field. But for me, I felt a master's in business is just a really good kind of sturdy master's degree that will, I think, help me with more than just my IT career, but potentially in other fields as well. And that's the other big news. I intend to start on January the 1st, 2021. So I did have a bit of a break. The reason I did that was because it's the start of the financial year. The subsidies at my company's reset, so I get the full amount. So that's why basically I'm going January 1. So for those that stuck around to this point, thank you. And I'll try and be as brief as possible. But ultimately, I do want to let you know, my options and why I chose the MBA. So first of all, the first thing was obvious. I didn't have to continue my education. Anybody that remembers or watched video 1 will know my reasons for going back to school were twofold, really. One was I wanted to round out my resume. I have a lot of experience, but I didn't have an American degree. And I felt in today's world to always be valid and to be able to get past the initial HR check, I felt I needed that box check, the bachelor's. With all the experience I have, I still felt like it wouldn't open every door. So I feel like now I have that, I'm always going to be a decent candidate for any role that I have experience in, or, I have potential for. So that definitely will help me. Second of all, was I was doing this to try to be a little bit of a role model for my daughters. 2 of the 3 were kind of in college or going to college around the time I started it. One of my daughters has actually graduated since, so that was cool as well. So my youngest is not going to go to college for another 2 years. So really, I felt like I ticked those 2 boxes, and they were the 2 big ones. So why go back then if potentially I don't need an advanced degree? Well, there's quite a few reasons. The big one, I think, was, crazy as it might sound to some of you, I actually really enjoyed it. It was my first degree, the bachelor's degree. Yes, I turned it around really quickly, but I enjoyed the focus it brought me. I liked the fact that I always had something to do, especially during the time when I started. It was kind of mid-COVID. It was quarantine time. There was I was kind of limited, to what I could do and where I could go. So it was almost like a perfect storm for me, having something to focus my energies on. So once I got going, I realized it wasn't quite as hard as I feared it would be. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't easy, but I enjoyed it. I mean, the challenge, there was a lot of learning there. Sometimes I think back and I maybe did it too quick, because maybe I just didn't soak enough of it up to really enjoy it. I was all about getting it done. And, I could have maybe read some more of the material and, whatever. But the beauty of obviously Western Governors University that I've gone over and over again before is competency based. You can test out, you can move through it. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It pushed me. It tested me. I sharpened skills. I used brain cells that I didn't even know I had or hadn't used for a long time. So I actually quite enjoyed it. So there's that. Also, just from a career, what I personally like to do the rest of my career is maybe this advanced degree opens up opportunities that I'd never really considered before. Now, some people are hell bent on moving up the ladder and becoming chief technology officers, CTOs, or whatever it might be in this field. But that was never really my ambition. I always enjoyed working with teams, being a team member, the troubleshooting aspects, getting hands-on machines, fixing things, building things, deploying things. I enjoyed that part of it. So I never really considered myself leadership material or anything like that. But with a master's degree, certainly in my company as well, I think it will probably open doors for me to maybe be a manager or a senior manager or director or whatever it might be, for the last third of my career. So it is something I've thought about now. And like I said, it wasn't before. So I think for that reason as well, I think it would be good to have a master's degree just to show that I have that intelligence, if you like, and the discipline to complete an advanced degree. So that was definitely a reason as well. And finally, third really is it's an ambition. It's you have to have ambitions, and you have to test yourself and push yourself. And now I've done a bachelor's, I really felt, I can do this. Now, again, go back to video 1. I talked about bachelor's and then a master's, and I kind of forgot that I said that, because I was so focused on the bachelor's. And so all along it's something I thought about doing. So I feel like I've started something. I've got half of it done, and now I've just got to complete the next part. So I think ultimately that's why. So the next questions you're probably asking yourself is, why Western Government University again? And why an MBA over like a business degree over like an IT degree, master's degree? And there are things that probably took the longest to decide. Now, I'm not a kind of a rushy, kind of make a quick decision type person. And ultimately, I did have some time on my side. So the laws in this country are quite strange, in my opinion. But if you finished a degree early, like I did, you cannot start a second degree until that term on the old degree is finished. So with Western Government University, of course, with the 6-month terms, I started term 2 in February 2021. I was done by mid-March. So really, I couldn't do anything basically till August. So August 1st was the first day I could do anything. So actually, that gave me a lot of time to think. And, I asked a lot of people. I do have several mentors at work. I have friends. There's people I trust. There's my family. And I went right round and, all the different master's programs. And I did speak to several enrollment experts as well at Western Government University, as well as some other universities. So ultimately, I felt the master's degree in business was the best choice because I already now have a lot of experience, obviously, a lot of certs. Obviously, I had some before, but with the Bachelor of Science Information Technology degree, I had a bunch more, maybe another 7 more. So my resume looks pretty good from that side. So bachelor's, experience, a whole bunch of IT certs. So I felt like that was pretty steady. So what don't I have? Would another like master's IT degree really help me? And maybe, the truth is I really strongly looked at their cybersecurity master's degree. So I have a very good friend that I've known for a long time who's basically a security director at a huge corporation in this country and is very well known in the field. And I spoke to him about getting into cybersecurity, and obviously today's world it's huge and it is a growth market, no question about it. And that's kind of why I considered it. I thought, well, this would be a really good master's degree to get into. Maybe it open doors, maybe it'll open up a career path, and the whole security aspect is quite interesting to me. But he talked to me about it, and he said that if he was hiring me off the street, it's all well and good having that master's in security, but I wouldn't walk in as a mid-level analyst or anything because I don't really have any experience, hands-on experience in that field. So it's all well and good having that piece of paper, but I wouldn't really get like a level job that kind of where I am now. I'd probably have to start at the bottom. So start as a junior analyst or something like that. And really, unless I was really desperate or really wanted to go backwards in my career, I don't think I'd want to do that. So this is just what he told me. And he made me think about it, and it's true, right? Because ultimately, yes, the master's degree showed that I did my study on cybersecurity and I had a couple of certs, but that doesn't get you like a senior kind of role straight off the bat. It just shows that you have the aptitude to learn it. You know, if you have 2 degrees from the same school, does that matter? Well, when I look back at it, actually quite a few people do have from the same school. They just continue their education, and in some cases they get their bachelor's and their master's at the same time. So I don't think it's a massive problem. Now, I did look at all the other online universities, and there is a lot of them. Not all of them are competency based. There's also obviously a lot of brick and mortar university. But I feel like I know Western Governors University now. I know what to expect. I kind of feel like I'm comfortable with this. And as long as it's perfectly valid, which it is, and it's accepted, which it is, and it's accredited, which it is, and my company are fine with it, and I really feel like it just works for me. It's a comfort level, I guess. The cost is also a big factor as well. Like I've mentioned previously, my company does give me so much money per year now towards my education. Now, a master's degree at Western Governors University, I think, ranges on which one you do, but it's between like 4,200 and maybe 4,600. Obviously, it's around there. So, you know, 1 year, about 9 grand, 2 years. If you went the full 2 years, would be 18 grand. Obviously, longer if you took longer. So for me, I really feel like I could do this in a year. So 9 grand maybe max. And then, you know, with the subsidy that I get from my company, I might be $4,000 or $5,000 out of my own pocket, which, you know, I think for a master's degree is very acceptable, especially in today's market. Now, I looked around, and truth is, master's degrees vary. Western Governors University for sure is one of the more affordable ones. But I mean, honestly, some of these more kind of famous kind of brick and mortar schools, I mean, 40 to 50 was probably the average, and that's $1,000. So that's a lot of money. So this is another major reason, just simply because I know the school, it's going to be affordable. Knowing me, I think I can hopefully get it done in a year. So if I can get this all done for $9,000 to $10,000, I think that's pretty good value. Well, I do intend to blog, you know, my journey along the way. There's only, like I said, 11 or 12 classes, so it probably won't be as long a series, but hopefully it will help some people out. I think there are maybe some people already that have blogged an MBA from Western Governors University already, but hopefully you'll continue to watch my channel and use it as a resource if you decide to go that route. There is a lot of classes across the master's degree that do overlap. So whichever route you decide to go, I think you might find at least some of the videos on the new series helpful. In the meantime, thank you for all the comments. There's been some really nice ones over the year, over the time I've done this. People said some really nice things. I heartfelt appreciate that. I've done my best to help people. I haven't been able to respond as quickly as I like to some of the emails just because of life. So if you're one of those people I haven't responded to, I'm really sorry. Like I said, I got literally hundreds of emails at times, and I couldn't keep up with it. But I appreciate you guys. In the meantime, as you noticed, I've had a haircut. My other hair I was growing during COVID, I finally out and about, so that's why I was able to cut my hair. But so no longer the baseball cap. But anyway, thank you again. I'll speak to you soon. Stay healthy, look after each other. Good luck with your studies, and I'll talk to you all very soon.